Karma Yoga by Swami Vivekananda. Chapter 5. We help ourselves, not the world. There was a poor man who wanted some money, and somehow he heard that if he could get hold of a ghost, he might command him to bring money or anything else he liked. So he was very anxious to get hold of a ghost. He went about searching for a man who would give him a ghost, and at last he found a sage with great powers and besought his help. The sage asked him what he would do with a ghost. I want a ghost to work for me. Teach me how to get hold of one. Sir, I desire it very much, replied the man. But the sage said, don't disturb yourself. Go home. The next day the man went again to the sage and began to weep and pray, give me a ghost. I must have a ghost, sir, to help me. At last the sage was disgusted and said, take this charm, repeat this magic word, and a ghost will come, and whatever you say to him he will do. But beware, they are terrible beings and must be kept continually busy. If you fail to give him work, he will take your life. The man replied, that is easy. I can give him work for all his life. Then he went to a forest, and after long repetition of the magic word, a huge ghost appeared before him and said, I am ghost. I have been conquered by your magic, but you must keep me constantly employed. The moment you fail to give me work, I will kill you. The man said, build me a palace. And the ghost said, it is done. The palace is built. Bring me money. Said the man, here is your money. Said the ghost, cut this forest down and build a city in its place. That is done. Said the ghost, anything more? Now the man began to be frightened and thought he could give him nothing more to do. He did everything in a trice. The ghost said, give me something to do or I will eat you up. The poor man could find no further occupation for him and was frightened. So he ran and at last reached the sage and said, oh sir, protect my life. The sage asked him what the matter was, and the man replied, I have nothing to give the ghost to do. Everything I tell him to do, he does in a moment, and he threatens to eat me up if I do not give him work. Just then the ghost arrived and saying, I'll eat you up, and he would have swallowed the man. The man began to shake and beg the sage to save his life. The sage said, I will find you a way out. Look at the dog with a curly tail. Draw your sword quickly and cut the tail off and give it to the ghost to straighten out. The man cut off the dog's tail and gave it to the ghost, saying, straighten that out for me. The ghost took it and slowly and carefully straightened it out. But as soon as he let it go, it instantly curled up again. Once more he laboriously straightened it out, only to find it again curled up as soon as he attempted to let go of it. Again he patiently straightened it out, but as soon as he let it go, it curled up again. So he went on for days and days until he was exhausted and said, I was never in such trouble before in my life. I am an old veteran ghost, but never before was I in such trouble. I will make a compromise with you, he said to the man. You let me off and I will let you keep all I have given you and will promise not to harm you. The man was much pleased and accepted the offer gladly. This world is like a dog's curly tail, and people have been striving to straighten it out for hundreds of years. But when they let it go, it has curled up again. How could it be otherwise? One must know how to work without attachment. Then one will not be a fanatic. When we know that this world is like a dog's curly tail and will never get straightened, we shall not become fanatics. If there were no fanaticism in the world, it would make much more progress than it does now. It is a mistake to think that fanaticism can make for the progress of mankind. On the contrary, it is a retarding element, creating hatred and anger and causing people to fight each other and making them unsympathetic. We think that whatever we do or possess is the best in the world, and what we do not do or possess is of no value. So always remember the instance on the curly tail of the dog. Whenever you have a tendency to become a fanatic, you need not worry or make yourself sleepless about the world. It will go on without you. When you have avoided fanaticism, Then alone will you work well. It is the level headed man, the calm man of good judgment and cool nerves of great sympathy and love, who does good work and so does good to him. Self. The fanatic is foolish and has no sympathy. He can never straighten the world, nor himself become pure and perfect. To recapitulate the chief points in today's lecture. First, we have to bear in mind that we are all debtors to the world and the world does not owe us anything. It is a great privilege for all of us to be allowed to do something for the world. In helping the world, we really help ourselves. The second point is that there is a God in this universe. It is not true that this universe is drifting and stands in need of help from you and me. God is ever present therein. He is undying and eternally active and infinitely watchful. When the whole universe sleeps, he sleeps not. He is working incessantly. All the changes and manifestations of the world are his. Thirdly, he ought not to hate anyone. This world will always continue to be a mixture of good and evil. Our duty is to sympathize with the weak and to love even the wrongdoer. The world is a grand moral gymnasium wherein we all have to wherein we have all to take exercise so as to become stronger and stronger spiritually. Fourthly, we ought not to be fanatics of any kind because fanaticism is opposed to love. You hear fanatics glibly saying, I do not hate the sinner, I hate the sin, but I am prepared to go any distance to see the face of that man who can really make a distinction between the sin and the sinner. It is easy to say so. If we can distinguish well between quality and substance, we may become perfect man. It is not easy to do this. And further, the calmer we are and the less disturbed our nerves, the more shall we love and the better will our work be.